So let's talk about the Internet of Things.
Well, what do you know about the Internet of Things, Bruce?
So this is really interesting, and I want people to really pay attention to this because I think a lot of people have looked at stuff like this, but they're not ready to get into it. One, because some of it's expensive. Two, they may not know how to use it. They, many factors there. But so the first thing I'll talk about is my Nest thermostat. I bought this a year and a half ago, maybe, and every month you get a report. And the report I got this past month showed that from December to March, that in our area, Jacksonville, Alabama, so I'm not sure geographically how wide that area was, but it said that on average, people heated their homes for 155 hours a month. So that's on average in this area. For the entire state of Alabama, it was 111 hours. My average, and this is with my Nest thermostat, was 71 hours. And I have a fairly good-sized home, 2,400 square feet. So, I mean, I figure I'm about average, above average, somewhere around there. I'm not sure what the average square footage was. It didn't show that. But, I have the Autosense feature turned on. So it learns my schedule. It knows when I'm at home, when I'm not at home, when I wake up. It learns my routine, and it's always learning. So if my routine changes, it's going to change. And I think I'm also on some beta software. I agreed to be a tester, so I'm not sure if that has something to do with it. But you got to think, just on average per month, I saved over 50% of what other people used. And I think the Nest is like $250. I figure just between December and March, it's paid for itself. And I know Honeywell's come out with one. I've looked at it. I haven't bought it, installed it to see exactly how it performs, but it feels cheap. It's plastic. It seems like it was thrown together in an attempt to catch up with Nest, and I think there's some others out there, and you think, well, what's the difference? Why can't I just get a programmable thermostat? That's the thing. I don't have to program this thing. I just let it learn. It does its thing. I set its thresholds, and it's good to go.
Right.
And
well, this article here called "Why the Internet of Things is a Double-Edged Sword,"
which I agree with,
and it's from Fox News, actually, one of your favorite. But I'm sure they've got some stuff from different places. It goes on to say everything will eventually be interconnected online. At least that's the dream, dubbed the Internet of Things. Turning dumb devices like thermostats and lights into smart objects, those type of things. It goes on to say that the most astounding failure, something that haven't seen in decades of testing, everything from cars to computers, occurred with Wink. The company's primary product is a $50 wireless hub that works with a welter of devices using different standards and is able to control them all. Basically, it lets you be able to. It's a hub that'll let you be able to turn, like you were talking about, turn off. So what happened was they did a remote software update, and it basically bricked most of them. Yeah. Now, I found out from a friend, a tech guy, another technician at our work, basically that there was an easy fix that a lot of people didn't know about, although you could call the company and they could work you through it over the phone. This article sort of made it sound like a bigger failure than it really probably was. But, us knowing things, you update something sometimes breaks.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. So with companies such as Apple, Google, and Samsung also working to integrate smart home devices, one can reasonably wonder what would happen should a similar software glitch affect such system in the future. This person goes on to write that cable TV outages are common and computers have a long tradition of crashing, but the confluence of failures last month involving the most of us would consider essential services like home security. And in one example, it talked about how that another company, it was using Wink, they sent out that their garage door was being opened and shut to people, and it wasn't being opened and shut. And of course, it gave people concerns. People were, probably, somebody's breaking into my home.
And see, that's the thing. I'm sure a lot of our listeners thinking, if they know anything about this stuff, they're like, "Oh, Bruce, you're supposed to be security minded, and you have this stuff in your home." I'm conflicted. I mean, I'm a tech guy. I've got to have these neat gadgets. I've got as far as the light stuff, I have some of the Wemo, and it works off of Wi-Fi. I have an Amazon Echo. I know, big major flag right there. It's always listening, but it's really great and it's neat. And it's one of those things. I've got to know the company that I'm giving my data to. What are they doing with it, and are they gonna protect it? And we're at that point. I don't think you can confidently say that they're gonna do good stuff with my data. They're gonna keep it safe. Which I will say this with Radio Shack being sold, Apple and AT&T, two evil companies, have stepped in and said that this company that's buying it, they're buying it for basically data mining purposes.
Right.
They have stated there were contracts that said that our customers' data couldn't be sold. So if you bought an Apple product or an AT&T product from Radio Shack, just know that your data's safe, because those companies stepped in and said you can't have that data.
Right.
So but back to the Internet of Things. I had to get off on my little sidekick there. There's a lot of neat stuff, and it's the whole point is, when I look at the Internet of Things, I don't look at, can I do something with my phone?
Right.
I look at how automated is it? How's it going to make my life easier? Because if it's all about, I can, turn off a light with my phone and not get out of bed, say I'm already comfortable and I can, do that. That still requires me to do something. I know this sounds super lazy, but one thing I can do is I have my Echo right there, and I can say, Alexa, turn off the light, and then it turns off the light. I didn't have to get anything out. I didn't have to put anything back. It turned it off. Now, what would be even better is if it started to know this is about the time you want the light off, or it knows. Say like with, if you're wearing a Fitbit or a band or something, it's like, you're starting to go into your alpha cycle of sleep or whatever, and it'll start to change things in the house for you to get better sleep. Whether it be don't turn something on that's say if it recognizes that turning the air conditioner on is going to wake you up, or if it's a certain temperature. It's like you could use that data and we could get so much more out of life, I guess is what I'm getting at.